This is a dangerous and slippery slope that we are going down as Montreal Canadiens fans, because this is the type of thing that if you start to get a little bit too excited about it, you might be setting yourself up for some very tremendous disappointment if this does not go through. And the reason we're talking about it like that is because this idea that we're bringing up in this video is so big, bold, and dare I say outrageous, that if it were up to me, if I had to bet, which I don't bet, I'm not really a betting man, but if I was, and you asked me to place a bet as to whether or not this was going to happen, I'd probably say no. But either way, that does not discredit the idea that the Montreal Canadiens might just try their hand at getting this done anyway. Let's head over onto an article on The Athletic published by Arpon Basu from earlier yesterday. Canadiens Offseason Notebook, what we're hearing on the 5th overall pick, Sean Monahan, and more. You get the protocol, it's The Athletic, link is in the description, but as per all of The Athletic material we end up going out there and talking about in this YouTube channel, we have ourselves Habs on Reddit, who posted this screenshot from the article on Twitter. Because this is public, I'm going out there and screenshotting the Twitter post. Fight me. Take a look at what Habs on Reddit has to say. It looks like, based off of this Basu article, the Habs are interested in moving up in the 2023 draft to get Adam Fantilli. Attached is the scoop from Arpon Basu. We can also confirm a report from Radio Canada colleague Alexandre Gascon on Wednesday morning that the Montreal Canadiens are trying, quote, everything they can to move up in the draft. The report cites their efforts to swap picks with the San Jose Sharks at number 4, but the Habs have also contacted the Anaheim Ducks to see what it would take to move up to number 2. Arpon Basu writes that the cost would likely be astronomical to get from 5 to 2, but when a player like Adam Fantilli is available, doing your due diligence to determine that cost is a necessity. The chances of a trade-up materializing remain very slim, but the Canadiens are definitely trying. And that right there, in my opinion at least, is a pretty scary report. Because my mind immediately wandered to the inevitable, okay, if the Canadiens are moving from 5 to 2 in this year's draft, what in the world is going to be the price? The Anaheim Ducks are in a position where they could use the total benefit of what Adam Fantilli could offer, not just next year, but in the long term. This is a team that was bad last season, they've got a lot of young pieces, they have a lot of pieces that have not actually made the team yet. And so, when you think about the long-term future for Anaheim, not only do you have guys like Trevor Zegras, for example, already on the team, already a stud, already going to do amazing things. You have Mason McTavish, who is going to break onto the scene too. And then you have defensemen like Olen Zellweger, Pavel Mintyukov, all these guys in the CHL who were just fantastic defenders. Tristan Luneau also comes to mind too. This is a team that is poised for getting better in the long term, while also standing to benefit from whoever else they could get that could help them in the now. Adam Fantilli is likely going to make the NHL next season, and if he becomes what everybody believes he could be in his prime, this is a player that'll help you out next year and beyond. And so, for the Anaheim Ducks, they have nothing to lose by holding onto that 2nd overall pick and just drafting Fantilli straight up. But if you're Montreal, what is it that you're going to have to shell out to get that pick instead? A part of me thinks, okay, you're sacrificing Adam Fantilli, going from that to maybe Will Smith if you're Anaheim. Will Smith or Matvei Michkov if he's available at 5, or somebody else like Dalibor, Dvorsky, or whoever. You're going from Fantilli to that. And no disrespect to Will Smith or Dvorsky or whatever, but Adam Fantilli is literally the best NCAA freshman we have seen since Jack Eichel, and that guy just won a Stanley Cup and he looked pretty convincing in the process. Fantilli looks like he could be an absolute game changer, and it's not going to take long for him to become that. So if you're Montreal, you're likely going to have to shell out not just the 5th overall pick, but also something else in the process. Maybe something like a Kirby Dach, if you want to say, okay, if Fantilli's going to be a center on the Canadiens next year, you have to trade a center away. That's how it works. Or if you wanted to talk about draft capital, you want to talk about young guys who have been very good in the NHL, or not even very good, but just serviceable in the NHL, who are projecting to getting better. I saw a few people replying to this tweet on Twitter saying that Juraj Slafkovsky should be the guy instead. Slafkovsky and 5 for number 2, something in that sort of realm. And I'm not going to go out there and agree or disagree with that. That's just an idea that was thrown out there by Canadiens fans. I saw a lot more people suggesting Kirby Dach. But the point is, you're going to have to shell out a tremendous amount of value if you're Kent Hughes trying to get that 2nd overall pick. Even just going from 5th overall to 4th overall, moving up 1 spot and guaranteeing yourself one of Carlsson, Fantilli, Michkov, or Bedard with San Jose, that's already a pretty tall task in terms of what you're going to have to give up. And so, heading into the next few days, we're going to have to keep an eye out as to what exactly the Canadiens' plans are and how they're going to try to maneuver this 2023 draft. The article said they're very desperate, or not they're very desperate, but they're trying really hard to move up. That is their goal. They want to go to even 4th overall. Just jumping up 1 spot is something that they see value in. And so trying to get that 2nd overall spot, which is probably the best pick that I could actually see getting moved. There's no way that Chicago trades away Connor Bedard. That's not going to happen. But if it's Anaheim, I could understand if you said, all right, well, they traded away the 2nd overall pick and they got XYZ in return. They dropped 4 spots or they dropped 3 spots and they got a prospect like Slafkovsky or something in the process. It's the highest pick I feel is actually okay to getting moved. Even 3rd overall. We've been talking this entire time about how the Blue Jackets want a center and how they might trade that 3rd overall pick to the Calgary Flames for Elias Lindholm. Hey, if you want a center, Kirby Dach's right there, man. 3rd overall for 3rd overall. How does that sound? But either way, if you are a fan of the Montreal Canadiens, what are your opinions on the idea of trading up to get Adam Fantilli? What do you think it's going to take? Would you touch a guy like Juraj Slafkovsky? Would you touch a Kirby Dach? Would you touch anything else that you're forced to in any Anaheim Ducks trade negotiations? If you're a Ducks fan, what is it that you want from Montreal, of course, including that 5th overall pick, that would make you okay with the idea of passing up on Fantilli and just getting somebody else at 5? If you're at 5, what's the prospect that you're aiming for? Is it Will Smith? Is it Dalibor Dvorsky? Do you hope and pray that Matvei Michkov is available at that spot at number 5? Or does it really not matter depending on the return? If it is the return, what is your thought process on the Canadiens and the assets that they have? Who would you want from the Habs in order to facilitate an Adam Fantilli trade? And do you think it's really worth it? I mean, your team already has so many great young players. Is there really much harm if you miss out on somebody like Fantilli if it means you're getting Will Smith and, let's say, Kirby Dach in return instead? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm really interested in seeing how everything is going to go down, considering we have a lot of Canadiens fans that want this team to maybe move up or just stick around at 5. There's a lot of variance, I feel, this year in comparison to prior seasons because the Canadiens have themselves a pretty good young core. It's just they could be getting very much better depending on what happens in this year's NHL Entry Draft. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canadiens, Adam Fantilli, 2nd overall, and the Anaheim Ducks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.